Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. Flourish pride, it runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raging voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, real night band.
All right, it is time for the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here on FortHSFootball.com and the FortHSFootball.com social media handles. Josh Rosen along with Christopher Like here. It is time for our last show of the week. It is the Panhandle edition of the Blitz. Chris, woo, man, we had a marathon during that last show.
Oh man, that was awesome.
That was awesome, and of course, man, one simple question turned into a long answer. One I didn't expect, but we love it when we hear from old school type of coaches here. But coming up here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz, we'll have Coach Arie Slone coming from Maclay, who the Marauders 5-0 on this season, and I was looking at it here, Chris, and as we'll talk about it later on in our pick six, they got a big game coming up with Taylor County, who is also 5-0.
Yeah, that game's going to be a real dandy this week, and a lot of playoff implications in that game too.
No, absolutely. Here, as we roll into the Blitz line here, and as we roll into it, let's look back on what was week number 6, and some of the games that we highlighted in week number 6. Well, if a couple of y'all thought Leon was improving, and I got bad news for you.
Yeah, Lincoln took him to the woodshed.
Hey, yeah, they took him to the woodshed. Maybe they also called. Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that pick got sucked up by the UFO. Not my pick. I took Lincoln. I thought there was a chance there on that one that Lincoln was going to win that one. I thought the forecast was getting a little wonky on that one. May have valued Leon a little too high, and it did.
Yeah, and sure enough, Lincoln proved you wrong.
Yeah. Emery said that I believe the UFOs abducted Mark and Noli. Oh boy, because Noli is not showing up at all.
Where is Noli? Anyway.
Yeah, where is Noli? But anyways, 70-0. The Trojans just steamrolled Leon, and Tyler Jacobs Jr. How about this for him on the night here for Taylor Jacobs Jr. For Lincoln, 253, 3 touchdowns. Lincoln also had a rushing touchdown. Lincoln had 6 rushing touchdowns on the night. And that basically looked like a lot of short yardage field situations for the Trojans, and they rolled all over Leon and take a 1-0 lead in District 5A. 2. Looking at Chipley, Holmes County. Well, where did Holmes County come from? Because that was not on the forecast, and Holmes County pitched a shutout, 16-0 on previously undefeated Chipley, handing the Tigers their first loss of the season, and Holmes County draws to an even 3-3 on the season. And that one was not what we were expecting. But Egan Seegers, 8 of 12, 107 yards passing, but also had 56 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Zarius Goodman also accounted for the other rushing touchdown for Holmes County. And that is all she wrote on that particular game. Again, fed 16-0. Holmes County wins that one. Blountstown and W.S. Neal out of Alabama. Blountstown rolls over them 38-7. And at least we all had that one right. Hands W.S. Neal their second loss of the season. I should say Blountstown now at 5-0 on the year.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise. And Blountstown doing good things there.
No, absolutely. And Blountstown rolling and right now sitting at the number 1 seed. But as you heard head coach Robbie Pruitt say in the North Central Florida Blitz, like Madison County Hawthorne, he doesn't, you can tell that he's saying, hey, maybe Blountstown hasn't showed yet,
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Thatch says Lincoln quarterback was out that Ware game, and that what did hurt Lincoln in that game was that why they lost that game. But they came back this past week with a vengeance. David Klosowski, don't sleep on Blountstown in the world. We're not sleeping on Blountstown. I just don't know if Blountstown necessarily is the 1 seed for the world classification. I don't know if they have earned that 1 seed. I need to see a little bit more out of them. I'm not sleeping on them. But I feel like there's a little bit more that I need to see from them. Yeah, looking at some of the other games here, Pensacola Catholic at Freeport. That game, Pensacola Catholic rolled over the Crusaders rolled over the Bulldogs 58-17, and Jalen Brown 191 passing, 4 touchdowns. Ethan Crandall for Pensacola Catholic. How about this? A whopping 214 yards rushing on 26 carries and 4 more touchdowns. So Pensacola Catholic was lighting up the scoreboard all night.
Yeah, Pensacola Catholic looking good, and looking good for their district play too. So we'll see how they end up in their district. So coming up pretty shortly.
No, absolutely here. And we're going to have head coach Arie Slone coming on here in in a few minutes here. But as we go rolling through a few more of our blitz lines here, South Walton 13-0 over Walton, giving South Walton a 1-0 lead in District 2A2. South Walton, 2A1. That'll give South Walton, so they're going to share a lead right now with Pensacola Catholic. South Walton, J.D. Brown, 169 passing, 2 touchdowns, and all it took was 2 touchdowns, 13 points, and the Seahawks are on the board. And Walton having to probably going to have to deal with some situation between crossing in between being in the parking lot and then traffic.
Yeah, Walton not doing so good right now, so we'll see what they do, and I generally think they're going to struggle over the next couple of weeks. So.
And here it is. I'm going to go ahead and take and eat my crow. David Koskowski is probably going to come at me for this one, and I don't know what Chris has got up on this.
Yeah,
Milton and Mosley. Mosley hands Milton their first loss of the season. Mosley in the driver's seat in that district. They have gone probably being in traffic and onto the on-ramp to the highway. And Milton thought looking pretty good. All of a sudden has found themselves sitting in traffic.
Yeah, and that's just how it works with those games like that. That's why you play the game. So Mosley, they're looking really good right now.
Yeah, Mosley 27-14 over Milton. J.D. Halsenbike, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns. Samuel Chisholm, 2 rushing touchdowns, as well as the Dolphins rolled on past the visiting Panthers. And with that said, something about Milton that I need to bring up here because unfortunately, one of the great coaches that coached in the Sunshine State here passed away yesterday. Hurley Manning passed away at the age of 87 for Milton. If anybody understands the history of Milton football, it definitely is with Hurley Manning. The stadium, the football field is named after him. Coached there from 1968 to 1988. How about this? This was Hurley Manning's record: 9 district championship titles, 7 regional championship titles, 4 sectional championship titles, 1 state championship runner-up title, and state championships in 1978 and 1979. So if y'all know anything about Milton, a lot of it went through Hurley Manning, and Hurley Manning passed away yesterday at the age of 87. So our thoughts and prayers to the Milton Panthers community as they remember head coach Hurley Manning, who passed away yesterday. Man, that's a bit. That's
yeah,
little somber there.
Yeah.
Anyways, as we roll along here, we're going to be having head coach Arie Slone joining us here from Maclay coming up here on the interview. We'll be right back right after this break here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here on FootHSFootball.com.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown!
Juggled and caught!
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Welcome back here to the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here on FootHSFootball.com. And as you see, we do not have Coach yet here on the show here. Send him everything. Told him when to be on. Maybe something happened and we're not sure, but we'll see what happens here and go from there. I did tell him the right time, made sure I did that, but we'll see if Coach pops in here in a moment here. And gosh, Panhandle football, you know, Chris, as we roll through along with this here, you know, everybody, you know, talks about it, you know, with Panhandle football that, you know, we sometimes forget about Panhandle football, but here we are. So, and we're going, it really, when we look at it, there's a lot of good football in this region.
Oh yeah, a lot of good football. You got Niceville up there. You got you have schools in Tallahassee. You have some of the rural schools out there. A lot of schools out there. And these communities in the Panhandle, they are out there. They're at their games like no other in the state of Florida.
No, absolutely here, and yeah, it really is something here when we're talking about that with the team with these teams. And I mean, as Stephen Thatch said, Milton and Mosley and Milton coming to Niceville told the Eagles get to. I was like, right here. And actually, one of the best atmospheres, if you could go for it, in the entire Panhandle is actually Niceville. I mean, they fill up their stadium every week, rain or shine, win or loss. I think Stephen probably could verify this for me. It's usually, I think, 80% of the stadium. So what would be the visitor side? They use a lot of the visitor side for home fans, and then the visitors only get about 20% of the seats. That's what you talk about a packed stadium there.
Yeah, and you don't see that very often, and that's what you think maybe we should build some more stands or build a new stadium or what. But that you wonder if that's been floated in Niceville before.
Yeah. Oh, it says Coach's long. Let me make sure I gave him the right link. Hold on 1 second. Chris, continue on with that right in a second while I handle this with Coach here. Really.
And like I said, you wonder if Niceville can, in the future, get a new stadium, increase the capacity, because that's one of those things that they'll probably need in the near future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's a unique stadium, absolutely. And Stephen Thatch confirms it. We're trying to get Coach on. Apparently, I guess either the link that what I sent him, it was either the wrong link, and I may have copied the wrong link because obviously doing 4 shows, you're sending out multiple links. But he says he was backstage on the other thing, and there we go. We can go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and reset the clock here on this one, and we're going to go ahead and bring Coach in. Coach Slone, how you doing, man? Can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
I can hear you, Coach.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you guys.
Okay, give us one. Just go if you. Let's see what we can do to get Coach's thing. Hold on 1 second here. Coach, I'm going to send you I'm going to send him go ahead and say. Sometimes this happens with the audio here. So apologize. Sometimes this happens.
Wonder.
Yeah. It's sometimes with the audio here. Let's see if we get Coach connected in here or not. Let's see if we can see if I can get Coach. Let's see. We're seeing it may be the headphones. Let's see if he's getting it connected. It may be the earbuds is what it is. Let's see if we can. All of a sudden, let's see. I don't hear Coach. Let's see, Coach. Are you? Yeah. There we go. Do you hear us now?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, awesome. There we go. We're going to roll with this there. Coach Slone, appreciate you joining us here. And your Marauders sitting at a 5-0 record here coming into the week number 7 here. And let's just kind of give us some insights about your team so far. This is your first year as the head coach at Maclay. I mean, y'all are rolling along here.
Yeah, so far. We've had a good year so far. Got to keep it rolling this week, though, for sure.
And just talk about some of the points about your team, what y'all have done so far this season. I mean, what has it been like for you as taking over? You know, you took over as the head coach in the offseason. What are you doing to try to put your footprint on the program? Obviously, there's been a couple of head coaches previous you that have built this program up, and you're trying to be a good steward of leaving it where they left it and build that program even further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, for sure. The first thing was just continuing what the guys before me had built. I inherited a really good situation for sure. I'd been there the last couple of years, so had kind of been there as the ascent kind of was starting. But in terms of kind of my style or whatever, just trying to be much more disciplined, much more physical. I mean, that's something we talk all the time about, is really being built offense and defensive line wise, physicality. In the past, we've been a little more air raid, spread it out, kind of, the word around here for us had been, soft or, whatever it was, but we're really trying to be physical, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Coach, your team is very young from what I see here. Got a lot of juniors and a lot of freshmen on that roster. Talk about the way that how you're coaching these young guys and teaching them the philosophy of winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We don't have a ton of seniors, but one thing we do have is some key seniors in some key spots. So we only have 8 seniors, but I would say 7 of the 8 I think are starters, including 3 offensive linemen. With the young guys we have, it was really huge last year. Us making a little run, going to the second round of playoffs. So they were all around last year. And kind of got to see what that was. We were in some big games last year that we lost that were close. Came back and won a playoff game, really pushed Trinity Christian to the very end last year. So a lot of that was built last year. I think just them being, in the front row of watching how what it takes to win. And then this year, just the way we've tried to coach them up is totally put our confidence in them, from day one, and that this is your all's team. We're going to ride and die with y'all. And they've really bought into that. And like I said, we've had some kids that were, maybe more of a Robin last year that we really had to turn to and kind of make them be Batman this year. And they've really, so far, they've stepped up to the challenge.
No, absolutely. And let's talk about some of these guys here. Bo Bashir's, he's already over 1,000 yards passing this year, 11 touchdowns. But not that, that's just one mark on with the offensive side. But on the defensive side, y'all have racked up 21 sacks here in 5 games. So it's not just the offense doing their job; it's the defense. Talk about these guys. I mean, they're just literally playing. They're playing as a team unit.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really been fun to watch because we only play, I would say, about 18 or 19 guys, consistently on Fridays on offense and defense. So those guys are, they're out there playing offense. And then if we turn it over or score, they turn around and play defense. Like I said earlier, we're really leaning on offensive line, defensive line. Now Bo's thrown for, a bunch of yards so far, which has been a surprise to a lot of people here in the area. Everybody thought that offensively we were going to fall off big time at quarterback. And I think he's kind of taken that as a challenge. His older brother last year was one of our main guys. And I think he kind of got a little tired of everybody talking to him about his older brother. And he kind of wanted to, make his own mark. And then defensively, our defensive line's been phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And this week, y'all have got a big game coming up here with Taylor County, who is also 5-0 on the season as well. And what is it about with the challenge that the Bulldogs are coming in? With this, I mean, it's somebody unfortunately is going to have to take their first loss of the season.
Yeah. That is it's a major challenge for us. Coach Braswell has them rolling. They watching film of them. They're a different animal than anybody we've played so far. They're huge. They're super athletic. They do a lot of good things on offense and defense. It is going to be an absolute battle. I think we've had a really good week. Probably the best week we've had of practice and preparation so far. We kind of had a little bit of a, not going to say a wake up call, but a little bit of a wake up call last week against FAMU. We did not play our best, and I think our kids totally understood that. I think a lot of them were looking forward to this week. So, it's going to be a challenge. I don't know.
Wow. And I don't know, Chris, you got to throw another question. I'm going to go through if you got one. I'm going to go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're considered a favorite in this region, in the district. You got North Florida Christian coming up on October 17th. Talk about your district game against North Florida Christian and what do you expect out of that game?
Yeah. We've talked all year as a team, as a program, that our 2 goals, the only 2 goals that we were going into this season with was we wanted to win the district. We want to play a home playoff game. So we took care of the first step of that last week, beating FAMU. So with North Florida Christian, that they're our rival. So, no matter how up or how down either one of us is, that's always a tough game. Again, from what I understand, they're really athletic. I haven't seen much of them yet. But hearing, some stuff throughout the town, just seeing some highlights here and there, they throw it around a little bit, and they've got some athletes. I think they're in the same boat we are as terms as, numbers wise. So super excited once we get to that. We got a couple games between here and there, but super excited for the hope that'll be for district championship. We play them over there this year. So I know that as a program, once we get to that, it'll be a super exciting week for sure.
No, absolutely. And Coach, let's talk about this. What have you found so far being the head coach? Obviously, you said you had a couple of years being an assistant there at Maclay, but what have you found to be the biggest challenge for you, especially dealing with small school football in the Big Bend area and the Panhandle?
I think the biggest challenge is just we don't have a lot of guys, so it's really hard finding ways each week as coaches. Like we talk all the time that we as coaches have to put the guys we have in the best position possible. We try to preach no excuses, no complaining. We have what we have, we don't what we don't. And so sometimes that can be challenging, that can be tough. Just like this week, looking out there, at the offensive line that we're about to face, we don't stack up size-wise at all. I think all 5 of their starters are at or close to 300-pounders. We don't have a 300-pounder on the team. I think our biggest kid right now is about 255. So it's really challenging each week, finding ways to let our kids be successful, finding ways that we can, maybe through smoke and mirrors or, whatever it might be, to give ourselves a chance against some of the teams that we play.
No, absolutely. And of course, as you mentioned about the numbers, the numbers game was definitely a problem that ended up causing St. John Paul II to fold their program. And they were actually the district champ last year in this district. So, you hit the nail on the head when it's talking about the numbers game. It's definitely an issue there. But on the flip side, what has probably been the easiest thing, or maybe what's the most exciting thing you're finding with small school football at this point?
Just the kids and the relationships you have, because the flip side of having fewer kids is, I feel like you really get to know every kid in the program. There's not a kid that I don't have conversations with daily, about various things, not even football. And then in relation to just Maclay in general is the support from the families. Our families are unbelievable. We've had some different things come up here and there, and the support that our families give to the program is phenomenal. I can just pick up the phone and call a couple people, here and there and get what we need, which has really allowed us, I think, which has been a key component to some of the success this year is just some of the support from the families behind the scenes that people don't even know. So that's been awesome to deal with.
No, absolutely. And Chris, I think you would ask this question, but I don't know. Maybe you want to ask it. It's about the dealing with the weather stuff.
Yeah, what is the weather? Talk about the weather. Last year we had to deal with Helene and Milton, and this year all the storms. What's been the progress of recovering from Helene over the last year?
Yeah, so we got very lucky last year. Helene missed us in Tallahassee, kind of went a little bit east of us. So we didn't have much of that. We were out of school for a couple days. But in terms of dealing with the storms that we have had, even some of the, like here, we have a lightning prediction system that we have to go by. We've just been moving our practices to the morning. We've been practicing before school a lot to get away from the heat and get away from the storms.
No, that is absolutely an interesting, because we hear so many different opinions and how to handle this and everything. But if there's, I guess as we wrap this up, if as you look at it, obviously we've talked a lot about small school football, but if the FSA reclassification obviously is going to be coming up here after right around as the season comes to a close and everything. For y'all as a program that you have to basically schedule, when it comes down, you had to schedule 7 out of your game. Had to actually go find 8 games. You have to put 8 games on the schedule outside of your 2 district opponents. What do you hope maybe the FHA will do to help y'all out in terms, especially with the scheduling process? Because right now, obviously, two district games ain't filling up the schedule for you.
Yeah. I would love it if we had more district teams. If we were in a district of 4 or 5, 5 teams, 4 other than us would be phenomenal. It's hard Two, with the way the classifications work, being the size that we are, we've got the couple schools here in town that are our size, and then we've got to go basically either to Jacksonville or to the Panama, Pensacola area to find teams comparable, in size. We have some rural teams, that we can play. There's a couple in our area that I think are kind of in our competitive area, but then there's also some, there's Madison up the road, that is out of our kind of competitive area. So it is really hard to find games in our area of teams that match up, that we feel like we can match up with. So if there was a way to expand the districts and add some teams, that would really help us out for sure.
No, absolutely, Coach. And all right.
Yeah. Coach, we had Bobby Pruitt on the last show. We talked about that a little bit. What's your opinion on the rural classification, and would you like to see it go away and just be a regular classification?
I haven't thought too much about that. I've spent a couple different years at Madison, so I've kind of and at Hamilton County, so I've kind of been on both sides of it. Overall, I think it would benefit, schools like our size if it wasn't a class, just because a lot of those teams are comparable, to us, and it kind of excludes some scheduling for us, just in terms of, since they're in a different division. But like I said, I haven't thought too much about that.
Oh, wow. No, that's definitely interesting. As again, a lot coming up here, but Maclay looking pretty good right in a second in terms of even ranked pretty high in the FHA power rankings for Class 1A. And Coach, again, big game this week against Taylor County at home. And I know that's going to be an electrified atmosphere for small school football on Friday night.
Yeah, I think we've actually got a student section organized this week. We typically don't have a designated student section, but from what I'm hearing, from what the kids are telling me, we got a whole student section coming. We're expecting a pretty big crowd. From what I understand, Taylor County brings, they bring a lot of fans. So I think it's going to be pretty close to a packed house at Frank Shaw Field, and it should be excited.
Oh, absolutely. And Coach, appreciate you taking some time on your busy Wednesday night or in the busy week to join us and talk some Maclay football. And we'll be looking forward to seeing how everything goes Friday night against Taylor County and then the rest of the season for y'all.
All right. Thank you for having us.
No, thank you. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah.
All right, that was Coach Arie Slone joining us here from Maclay here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz, and definitely it's interesting to especially hear different perspectives, especially small school football and big school football. And again, and it's interesting, Chris, as we point this out, is that it's the small school football, especially out in the Panhandle. There's there's a lot of small school programs, but the problem is a lot of them are in that rural class and. Maybe some people are not going to like our opinion that we got to say about this, but maybe the rural classification has outlived its usefulness.
Yeah, the rural classification, they have a lot of problems finding games just based on geography and the way the thing is set up. So, and a lot of people are saying that maybe it's time for the rural classification. Rural class to go away.
No, absolutely. Emory, by the way, I'm looking at the comments here. It says, Emory, your district would attract more population as if you have a Publix. I love the chat, but yes. Anyways, I
do agree. Three team districts should not happen.
The three team districts. Yeah, the 3 team districts have got to go. I mean, something's got to give. I think maybe I'll have some time tomorrow to sit down while I'm doing some other things, getting the rankings up, the Florida Power Rankings Index, getting all the rankings up, getting all the playoff roadmaps up. Chris is done here. Of course, tomorrow night, there's only like a dozen games around the state, period. So good time to catch up on some reading, and good time to catch up on a lot of things across the state here. But I'm trying to figure out, I got an idea of what maybe the FHA could do with the classifications. What does that look like? Because I got to be honest, Chris, as we talk about it here, does district play need to be eliminated? Does maybe district play need to be still part of it? But maybe how the classifications are divided, it shouldn't be a hard line. You need to really kind of be fluid with those lines. I think there's a lot of things that could happen here. Maybe bring back district play and rural classification. I'll tell you this, David. I think in the rural classification, I think the rural classification should be expanded out because you've got teams like Mariana, Keystone Heights, Bradford. These schools they're already playing the smaller rural classification schools that are rural now. Why not just go ahead and put everybody that's really a rural area, put them together?
Yeah, either put them together or just eliminate the whole thing altogether, and figure out a better way to bring these teams together with district play. I mean, I think that's a lot. That's the big problem. Rural classification does not have district play, and it really caused some issues with the way teams are scheduling, so they don't know how to handle it.
No, they really don't, and that's the biggest thing that we're running into is looking and it's just how to handle this. And with that said, we're gonna go ahead and just roll right into our next part of this, and that is the pick six for week number 7. 6 games, 6 picks, 1 winner. That's the way it is each and every weekend. First up, as we do this rapid fire here, Franklin County in Cottondale. Franklin County 5-1, Cottondale 3-2, and the Florida Power Rankings Index is saying Franklin County a 1-point favorite over the Hornets.
I'm sure I pretty much disagree with it. I think Franklin County is a much better team. So give me Franklin County.
We talked to John Cooper, head coach John Cooper, back at the start of the season, and Franklin County has been really playing some good football. Not to say that Cottondale's not a good football team, but I'm going to roll with the Seahawks. But I know Reno, he said usually it's a less than 10, and Cottondale's on the other side of this, but he would take Cottondale on this one. I know some people would take Cottondale, but I see Franklin County for Mark Cannon in the picks. Childs 4-2 at Florida High 3-2. This one looks like this could be a more competitive game than I would have thought at the start of the year. But as we roll along here, I'm going to pull it up here. Childs a 3-point favorite over Florida High.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it. Florida High's had their issues. They're not the same team as they were last year. Childs has been on a roll this year. Give me Childs.
I'm going to roll with Childs as well, but again, going Reno's philosophy, he would take Florida High as the pick going out on Reno Island. So Reno is channeling through Josh. Yeah, that's how it usually happens. But yes, anyways, Godby 3-3 at Niceville 3-3. 2 teams at an even 500 and 2 teams that are fighting for playoff lives as we speak. I believe both teams, I got to be honest, I think we're outside of the playoff, outside of the in the rankings, like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that range in their respective classification. So Godby coming over to Eagle Stadium and forecast Niceville 18 over Godby.
Yeah, I think Godby's going to catch Niceville at the wrong time here. Niceville's going to be pretty pissed off, and I think they're going to score a lot of points on Godby here. Give me Niceville.
Well, considering Niceville put up over 50 points last week, I'm going to take Niceville as well, and I know Reno will take Niceville as well on this one. So give me Niceville for the win. Choctaw, who is sitting at 6-0, is making the trip to South Walton, who is 4-1. And I just got a feeling that this Indian squad, South Walton may not be liking this one. I think Choctaw is looking at a potential going to 7-0 here this week.
Yeah, I get the feeling too. Choctaw in a different class right now than South Walton. I think Choctaw's going to roll pretty easily.
Yep, and the Big Green Indians are favored by 15 over the Seahawks. So that is according to the Florida Power Rankings Index with that one. All right, this one, Pace at Madison County. And, this is going to be a dandy. Pace is a 1-point favorite over the defending rural state champs.
Yeah, give me Madison County at home.
Boy, I Madison County, I know Reno will take Madison County in this situation. I am going to roll with the Cowboys because I feel like Madison County has a response for this. But the one nice thing, one of the things that Pace did last year is that when Madison County came out and visited them, they sent them back with a lot of supplies, especially following Hurricane Helene, and Pace so generous. A good football community to say as well, but I feel like Madison County for the win at Boot Hill on Friday night. And the last but not least, the game that we talked about in our interview, it is Taylor County and Maclay. Where do we roll with this one? Because Maclay is a 18-point favorite over Taylor County in this one.
Yeah, I think Maclay is going to roll pretty good. Taylor County, great program, but Maclay is on another level right now.
I think I know the one concerning thing that Coach did bring up was the size of the line, and they don't have a 300-pounder guy, and I think that could be a difference here. But I think Maclay finds a way. They found a way against Valwood, obviously a few weeks ago. Obviously, they were looking forward to this game, and they had some struggles against FAMU, but they won that game pretty handily. I think Maclay wins this one, but it's going to be much closer than the 18-point spread that is calling for.
Yeah.
So, with that said, that is the pick six. I didn't even hit start the clock, but we still did pretty good firing it off. So there we go. I can say that. But yeah, that is it on the pick six. Any final thoughts as we wrap this up, Chris?
It's been a great night. Great night of interviews with three guys, and three successful people there. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Emery says great four great shows, great 4 shows tonight, and seeing if that just paces a great game day atmosphere, great fireworks show. Ooh, I like fireworks shows. Bradford does one too at their games. I'll tell you that. So, yes, indeed.
Yeah, don't forget the playoff roadmap tomorrow, and have a great weekend, guys.
Yeah, the Florida Power Rankings Index. The rankings will be out too tomorrow, fully for this week. And then it's hard to believe. Week 7. We're already at week 7, guys. Here we go. And David Kozlowski says, once again, thank you for doing what you do for high school football. Real quick, if you're not subscribed on our YouTube channel, go to Florida HS Football on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like buttons on all our videos. The more you like the videos, the more it's going to recommend everything to others. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your dogs, tell your cats, tell everybody about us. If you're not a season ticket member, get on there, hit subscribe. Florida HS Football.
Tell people out of state too.
Yes, tell people out of state, because Florida football is just amazing. So, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate it here, and we'll see y'all next week for the Blitz shows here on FloordaHSFootball.com. Have a good night.